Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we're gonna have ourselves a 1v1 on Arnhem Checkpoint. Our heroes today are going to be Mr. RtN.Talisman, playing as the Soviets in the blue. And his opponent is going to be RUKAclNoggano, playing as the OKW forces in the red. So Talisman versus Nogano. This is from the February ESL, so it should be a hell of a game. Not sure if it is, but it should. So hopefully it will not disappoint. So we see Talisman here doing a little cheeky maneuver, and that is popping his combat engineers in and out of the church, which allows him to see quickly into the surrounding territories, making sure that he has line of sight with everything, whilst not taking, too much damage with his combat engineers, because he knows that against Stormpyle's combat engineers, I mean, they're not really going to be able to stand much. Now, we did see Talisman select his Doctrine right off the bat, and that is the Armored Assault Tactics, which, of course, gives us those nice little T-34s, the IS-2s and all such, and also the Radio Intercept, which is pretty goddamn useful when you know exactly what your opponent is doing. Like, for example, right there, it told them that an OKW squad, Volksgrenadier squad, sorry, was completed, since right now we're actually looking from his point of view, essentially. So yeah, the combat engineers continue to do their little dance as they pop in and pop out of the church, making sure that they know what's going on, and then popping out. They stay there a little bit longer this time around, as it seems like reinforcements are on the way. We do have two conscript squads moving up, so they're going to stay in there and basically draw the fire of the other squads for a little while. We see Volksgrenadiers moving up to capture the point on the left-hand side of the center square. Conscripts managing to close the distance gets them the ability to deny the cap and forces the Volksgrenadiers to pop back into the house, denying them the territory, setting themselves up in a nice position here of heavy cover, and will now be opening up on the Volksgrens inside the house. The combat engineers staying 4-man strong, and we see the second conscript squad, which was on the right side, going now for the center victory point as they take cover by the fountain, which allows them to have, that green cover. Left-hand side, we do have a Kubelwagen on the field for Nogano moving around. He only has 2 Volks out so far, going with the third one just now. Which, again, once it comes out... Oh, never mind. Whatever. I was going to say it shows up right there, but no, it didn't, because I wasn't selecting him. Because remember, if I select somebody else, it switches point of views, like there. Anyways. So the Kubelwagen does have the ability to cap, remember that, so he is now on the other side of the field, just capping behind. Conscripts, combat engineers and such, all of them fighting against the troops inside the house. The Volksgrenadier squad was forced to retreat, currently back at base with only 2 men remaining. We have more Volks coming out onto the field. These Stormpyles trying their best they can to hold this position, down to 3 men now as they pop themselves inside the house. And we now have a second combat engineer squad on the field for Talisman with a flamethrower coming online. The Stormpyles pop out of the house as they do not want to be taking any unnecessary fire. They pop back in to get a line of sight. Realizing the combat engineers are there, they're going to pop themselves out, and the conscripts are going to take the house for themselves, and now they have managed to push a little bit forward on the square. On the right-hand side, we do have 2 Volksgrenadier squads holed up in different houses. And on the far right-hand side, we have a conscript squad moving around to capture some territory. Back at base, we do see Tier 2 having gone down at the edge of the map there for Talisman. Nice little thing to do, as it will allow him to reinforce a little bit closer to the front lines, if he so desires. And the Kubelwagen over on the left-hand side is currently harassing these combat engineers as they're trying to decap the point. Kubelwagen no longer has the ability to suppress, but it still has a gun, so it's able to shoot at them and kill them, so they have to be a little bit careful. Far right-hand side, conscript squad retreating as the double Volksgren squads were engaging them. Center square, we still hear fights going on at long range. Conscript squad on the house that they had taken. Down to 3 men forced to retreat, and we see the Kubelwagen now trying to assault these combat engineers, managing to kill 2 of the members of one squad, being now assaulted by a flamethrower squad. However, Stormpyle squad still on the field, only 2 men strong, but it's able to do a lot of damage with its assault rifles. Flamethrower going off. The Kubelwagen may actually be lost here as it continues to get shot. Combat engineer squad down to 2 men. Down to 1 man. May actually be taken out here by the Stormpyles. His retreat tries to run its way out. Can it make it out of there? It looks like it's going to be barely able to make it out of there. Maxim machine gun now on the field for Talisman, popping itself inside the church, opening up on the men in the center of the square, taking cover by the by the fountain, getting flanked by another Volksgrenadier squad. Up in the north, the combat engineers with their flamethrowers trying to engage the storm piles. The Kubelwagen still in the mix, very low in health, but it is able to, well, keep firing, which turns the tide and allows Nogano to get himself a little bit of a victory. Maxim machine gun in the church gets battered and beaten, down to 3 men, forced to retreat, and it looks like Talisman is getting knocked out of the field temporarily, but significantly. There's no squats for him right now out on the field. Right-hand side, Volksgren's capping, more capping as we see conscripts flooding into the center, trying to take the square back. There is no machine gun on the field for Nogano for him to fight with, so, you know, that gives him a nice little position there. Not position, but nice opportunity to be able to push with all this infantry, you know, without having to worry about getting suppressed. The cars on the strategic point right outside the base able to provide a lot of support here. Wire getting crushed here by the Kubelwagen. Nice usage there for Nogano. Might actually get it killed though here as the conscripts are currently focusing fire on the Kubelwagen. Nope, manages to backpedal its way out of there quite successfully and continues to lay into those conscripts, down to 3 and 4 men respectively. And we see the other squad still trying to hold the line by the fence. Combat engineers pushing forward. Maxim machine gun coming up to be able to provide some decent amount of fire support. And the shots will fly. There is a Volksgrenadier squad on the right-hand side house. However, doesn't look like too many are able to shoot there. Mortar now on the field for Talisman. Going to be helping out quite significantly to flush out these troops from inside the houses. And did it actually kill somebody here? I mean, there's nobody in the church anymore, but I don't think anybody died. Pretty sure he got out of there a little bit before, but anyway, so. Talisman having to call in some heavier weaponry, essentially, is able to clear the center and is now in possession of it. However, Nogano managing to score himself a nice temporary triple cap against Talisman. Victory points 408 to 472, still in the lead for Nogano. So, yeah, I mean, he managed to bleed significantly there for Mr. Talisman, but he is going to be capturing that center point, which will reduce the bleed to 1 point per tick and give him a little bit of time. Left-hand side, conscripts flooding, trying to capture some territory. Mortar setting up on the point. Maxim machine gun inside the church. Combat engineers in the front. Right-hand side for Nogano, having 2 Volksgrenadiers just holding the line in heavy cover while the Kubelwagen moves around quickly behind him to cap. Now on the field, we do have the looks for Mr. Nogano, as we do see the Mechanized Regiment headquarters getting laid down pretty much in the base. Not going to be laid out in the open, which, you know, it's fine. It's just a automatic repair station, so it doesn't necessarily have to be in the middle of the map. I mean, none of them actually have to be, but, you know, usually you see the battle group headquarters being placed a little bit further into the map because that allows you to reinforce and heal up your troops, you know, a little bit closer to the front lines rather than back home. So the Lux able to really, I suppose it's Lux, but it's able to quickly push out those conscripts and clear the left-hand side. Mortar taking cover behind the church. Nice little positioning there. It has a hedge on its back, which also kind of protects it a little bit, although it is open on the side. The shots continue to fly, trying to see if they can hit any of the Volksgrenadiers. We see Volksgrenadiers, 3 of them total so far, getting equipped with Shreks. The fourth one pending a little bit. Not sure if it's going to be done or it's going to be left like that for a while. Kubelwagen on the far right-hand side of the map, just sitting around, not really doing too much. As we see Talisman bringing in his own AT gun onto the field. Well, I say his own, even though it's really the only AT gun. We do have a rocket and warfare on the field for Mr. Nogano, but there's not a lot on the field for that one to do, right? And it's, you know, shoots rockets rather than shells, so I suppose it's not exactly the same thing. So the Maxim machine gun inside the church. Nice positioning there for the gunner up in the top, allowing him to get a good angle on everything. Laying into the house here as it gets mortared as well. We see Volksgrenadiers coming up on the flank. They're going to be able to get in line for the church. However, the Maxim machine gun is able to turn its sights from the top of the church and get suppression going on those Volksgrenadiers. Volksgrenadiers get themselves pinned down, and the combat engineers are going to get on top of them with a flamethrower. So over on the right-hand side, we see an attempted flank here by the Volksgrenadiers. We do have a conscript squad inside of the thing. Inside of the house, down to 2 men. Conscripts, I mean. as we see a conscript squad pushing forward. Incendiary grenades getting popped by these Volksgrenadiers, doing a significant amount of damage to the conscripts. Lux being moved up to the right-hand side quickly forces the retreat of that conscript squad, as we see the AT gun moving over to the right-hand side, seeing if it could potentially get a good shot going on the Lux. There goes a good shot. Gets a hit. Can it get a second shot before it moves out of range? No, it cannot. And it will not be able to continue the engagement. However, the Lux does take a hit. Going to be forced to back off into the repairs. But it should be coming out onto the field relatively soon. Battle Group Headquarters getting laid down for Nogano, so no, he's not going to be risking it out on the open. He's just going to put it right there in the smack dab center of his base, making sure that all the troops automatically heal up when they come back into the, into the HQ. Mortar on the left-hand side being utilized to cab. The Kubelwagen is going to be able to harass it. However, there is a Maxim machine gun nearby that can provide some additional support and lay into that Kubelwagen, however, manages to get out of the way and in position to cap that munitions point. Combat engineers. Ooh, nice sneaky mine, although the positioning of it is kind of weird. I mean, the door's right there and it puts it over here, but I'm pretty sure it's still going to work. More combat engineers moving over to the right-hand side fields to capture some points. Victory points 354 to 472. Conscripts getting shot at by the Lux, and the tank will pursue. The AT gun is currently on the far right-hand side of the map, so it's going to take a while to get there. And we do see a second Maxim machine gun coming onto the field for Talisman, as he does not seem to be interested in teching so far. Doesn't necessarily need to, of course. He does have access to that IS-2. That's going to be a while before that comes into play, so we'll see what Talisman has in mind. So the Lux laying into the church. The church is a solid stone structure, so it will take damage, but it won't take a lot of damage. It will take a while for it to fall. AT gun and the mortar actually nailing the Lux manages to make its way out of there. And we see some mines getting laid down under fire here for Mr. Talisman. Bit of a risky maneuver there, as he obviously, telegraphing that a mine is there. There's also a Shrek equipped on that Volksgrenadier squad, which could detonate the mine and potentially kill the combat engineer squad. However, we'll see if it, if it actually gets hit. We do have minesweepers on the field for Nogano, so he actually knows that they're there. So yeah, I mean, he's just gonna go clear them. I don't think he's gonna run into it at any point. The conscripts do push forward, getting themselves right on top of those storm piles. Storm piles being forced to retreat as they put away their sweeper. Volksgrenadier squad behind there, trying to hold the line against these conscripts, but there's just a lot of them, and even a Maxim machine gun getting brought up into this house. Should be able to nail those Volksgrens quite significantly. The Lux on the left-hand side, getting some good shots in there. Ooh, nice attempt there by Mr. Nogano. It's a sneaky maneuver there as he threw a grenade, which obviously is going to force squads to move out of the way, but also trying to see if he could detonate the mine with the grenade. The Lux is playing it a little bit fast and loose there with his life as he gets very close to the mine. Maxim machine gun is forced to back off out of that house. Conscript squad barely makes it out of there, down to one man, as we do have a flanking combat engineer squad getting some flamethrower bursts going on those Volksgrens, but it is going to need to get the hell out of there, otherwise the Lux will tear it apart. Volksgrenadiers pushing forward, trying to do as best they can against the Maxim machine gun, but it is going to be able to open up on it point blank, so they have to retreat quickly as the AT gun is still there, able to provide support. Going to get a good shot going on the Lux. It should. There goes a shot. Nice. The Lux very low in health. Can it get a second shot before it moves out of range? I don't think it can. Nope. It's not managed to get the additional shot. But we do see Nogano getting his own doctrine. That is the Special Operations Doctrine. Which obviously allows them to also use the infiltration tactics grenades. Very good decision or choice, especially with all these buildings. Makes it easier to clear them out and force evacuations. So let's see, is the mine over there still? Yeah, still there. What happened to the mine in the north? Is it still there? Yes, it's still there. Severely damaged, but it's still there in a line. The RUKAclNoggano warfare is moving in that direction, slowly but steadily. Did it forget that there's a mine there? It might have forgotten that there's a mine there. The storm pirates are going to run into it. Ooh, nasty hit. The Maxim machine gun manages to nail the last guy as the storm pyro gets killed on the retreat there. Infiltration grenades getting popped on these combat engineers. Volksgrenadiers down to 3 men. Well, still 3 men strong, very low in health. as the RUKAclNoggano Warp replaces itself where the mine previously was. But we see the Volksgrenadiers clearing out the house and the Maxim machine gun being forced to retreat. Behind it, we do see an artillery barrage getting called in there by the AT gun, or well, getting shot by the AT gun of Talisman. Going to be nailing this house and potentially collapsing it. Volksgrenadiers popping into the house on the right-hand side, getting some good shots going on the AT gun, but the artillery barrage manages to successfully destroy the house. Lux coming up behind these conscripts. Can it actually pick up the kill on them? Might be able to. Currently on the retreat. There's nothing there to support them. We do have an AT gun, which is not looking at the Lux. Ooh, shots flying all directions. Can the guy make it out of there? Yes, it can. Talisman catching a lucky break there, as he does not lose his conscript squad. Do have a second AT gun on the field. It's currently focused on the right-hand side, so it's able to cover both sides of the map. Though it needs a little bit of reinforcements, maybe emerging by a conscript squad to keep those that man count a little bit up. Volksgrenadiers putting themselves in a bit of a, well, I mean, barely managing to avoid disaster there as they almost hit. Oh, the mine nailing them with an excellent shot. They're going to have to, I mean, not the mine, the mortar. They're going to have to run the gauntlet through the conscript squad. Can the conscript squad actually pick them off and kill them? Doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. Down to 2 men, but 2 men strong is enough for it to make it out of there alive. Left-hand side, we hear a combat engineer squad and a Volksgrenadier squad duking it out as Maxim machine guns just nail the Volksgrenadier squad at 2 at the same time, forcing it to retreat, and away it goes. So Talisman doing a great job at coming back into the game and securing territory. 345 to 414, still in the lead for Nogano, but we can see the territory is currently in the majority for Talisman. AT gun setting up right in front of that Lux. Lux getting shot in the face. Now going to be forced to back off a little bit. Conscript squads are only 4-man strong, so they won't be able to withstand too long against the Volksgrenadier squad. Down to 2 men. Going to be forced to retreat. Combat engineer squad with flamethrower moving up to relieve them, and the AT gun is able to make it out of there without getting cleared out. Maxim machine guns currently holding territory on the far side, or I guess near side for him. Yeah, the near side of the square. Combat engineers with their flamethrowers pushing forward a little bit too aggressively, gonna get themselves killed here to the Volksgrenadiers. They do have heavy cover as they retreat through the wall, barely managing to escape there with their lives. Nothing nearby to harass them. AT gun throwing a nice artillery barrage right on top of those Volksgrenadiers. May actually be able to clear them off if they don't retreat. They do retreat, barely managing to make it out of there with 3 men left. Very low in health, but of course we do have the battle group headquarters, so no big deal. The Schwerpanzer headquarters has gone down for Nogano, currently covering a little bit of territory there. We do have Obersoldaten also on the field for Nogano, also getting upgraded with the STG-44 package, which is interesting. I mean, it's fine. It's a fine decision. Nothing bad about that. But usually you see the LMGs getting equipped on the Obersoldaten, right? But it's a nice change of pace, I suppose. Also pretty good on the move, you know, compared to. Almost point-blank artillery barrage getting activated there on that AT gun, trying to make sure that they don't get fucked with. Volksgrenadier squad having to run the gauntlet through 2 Maxim machine guns and a conscript squad opening up on it. Barely manages to make it out of there with 1 man left with a sliver of health. A fart and he dies, but at least he has control. Stormpile squad moving over on the right-hand side with their sweepers activated, managing to spot one of the mines. Now they realize that the mine is there. They're going to move themselves into position to clear it. However, they also move themselves out of the capture point of the point, so they are unable to decap it quickly. Now they're able to do so. However, conscripts are now upon them, and they are quickly forced to retreat. Kubelwagen just crushing the farmer's hard work here as it just tears through the plantation. Moving its way back over on the left-hand side. The Lux is still on the field, so it's actually, you know, still quite a threat. Veteran C2 has been acquired, so accuracy and rate of fire goes up. But we see the conscripts moving over on the right-hand side to capture territory, and we see the, what the hell? Oh, okay. For a second there, I thought it hit a friendly unit, but no, it destroyed a sandbag. Okay. Now I understand. So center map, Volksgrenadiers coming up to harass. We do have the mortar still on the field. We also have the Maxim machine gun inside the church. Combat engineers with flamethrowers. And the AT guns just throwing artillery barrages willy-nilly. Managing to inflict a significant amount of damage. Combat engineers on the far left-hand side capping territory. As we see the Maxim machine gun getting a little bit of a flank here. As we have the Kubelwagen and 2 Obersoldaten with infrared. Well, I guess it doesn't matter the infrared. But the STG-44s. Managing to get a good angle and flank on them, forcing the retreat of the conscripts and the Maxim machine gun, killing a few of its members on the retreat, but they barely managed to make it out of there. What is it they get? Squats are better able to detect hidden units, so I guess it just provides them ability to spot, like, cloaked units, I guess? Combat engineers moving up. They're going to try and cap the point. We do have a smoke barrage on top of the combat engineers as they need it and utilize it to basically break a line of sight with the Schwerpanzer headquarters. They don't cap the point though, but they do manage to decap it. We do have an Su-76 on the field for Mr. Talisman as he moves it up to try and attack the Schwerpanzer headquarters. Volksgrenadiers with Treks though are moving right on top of it. We also have a Rocket Warfare ready to lay the ambush shot. Nice. Ooh, actually not a nice shot. Manages to just impact the surface, not getting the penetration as the Su-76 is able to just make it out of there without really any consequence. We also see a T-70 getting built. Nope, getting canceled. Okay, we'll see what he decides. But yeah, I mean, Tier 3 having gone down. Talisman deciding that, yeah, he's not going to wait around for that heavy tank. He needs something now. And he still has enough fuel for it, though. 230. I mean, he's actually already has it and doesn't have the command points for it. So, can he actually field it? 19? Yeah, he can. So, at about 90 pop cap total. So we see Nogano doing a big push into the center, managing to flush out all the troops here for Talisman. Everybody being forced to backpedal, put themselves in better positions. We do have the AT guns currently moving back. Far right-hand side, Maxim machine gun and conscripts are pushing forward. The Obersoldaten unable to stop them by themselves because, of course, it is a machine gun, and if it's properly positioned, well, they can't really do much against it. Conscripts uraying away as they try to get themselves into better position. Su-76 moving up, trying to provide some support, and it is going to get itself right on top of the Volksgrenadiers. The Volksgrenadier, what is it doing? So, ooh, that's a big mistake here by Talisman. Su-76 managing to just simply move itself into a horrible position as it moves up to the north, past a Volksgrenadier squad which shot it in the ass, gets itself shot in the face by the Raketen Warfare, and finished off by the 2nd Volksgrenadier squad. So, yeah, that big mistake there by Talisman. Still in good shape, though. Managing to pretty much stabilize as far as victory points go. He is currently on the losing end of it, but, you know, it's only 2 to 1. So it's only 1 point per tick, and they're pretty even, 310 to 331, so pretty much 20-point difference, which doesn't really determine anything. Those can change in the blink of an eye. So AT guns on the back, just moving around, trying to position themselves. Maxim machine gun moving up, getting some shots into the church, trying to clear it out. We do have the Lux currently on the left-hand side, while the Kubelwagen still on the field, still being a threat. And we now see a Panther coming onto the field, although that is the command tank Panther for Mr. Nogano. And the conscripts on the right-hand side managing to get an AT grenade going off on that Kubelwagen, but not managing to finish the job, I suppose. Talisman, though, finally able to pop his IS-2. Maxim machine gun going to be forced to retreat as the Panther just wrecks everything over here on the right-hand side. IS-2, no, now online. AT guns are going to be moving forward to try and get shots going on the Panther. And the IS-2 seemingly going to be ignoring the Panther. It's instead going to be focusing into the center, going to be trying to maybe get as much damage as it can. Deciding to focus only on the vehicles. Spots the Lux in the center of the map. The Volksgrenadier squad down to 1 man, forced to retreat. Lux returning fire as the IS-2 trying to chase it down. Can it actually chase it down? No. The Lux is far too quick, far too nimble. And the Panther going to be trying as best it can against the IS-2. The IS-2 currently moving, going to be crushing into this house. Gets hit on the rear there by something. Did it hit a mine? Not too sure what it was, but manages to get damage going on the engine. Seems like it might have hit a mine right there. You can see the explosion there. Okay, so coordinate fire is the one thing that got spotted on that. Basically kind of like a marked target, which means it takes more damage. IS-2 now backing up with its damaged engine. The Shrek's pushing forward, plinking away at its health, but getting shot back in return and taking some damage. Left-hand side, we do have the Maxim machine gun moving around. Conscripts getting another AT grenade going off on that Kubelwagen. The Kubelwagen is close to death. The Lux is going to try and save its little wheeled buddy, but the Conscripts manages to focus it down. Ura's away and then hits retreat. So nice pickup there for Talisman, finally getting rid of that nuisance. Because it is, you know, it's annoying because it's a very fast capping unit and it's, you know, it's a persistent threat. So 87 to 75 pop cap with an IS-2 on the field for Talisman. So yeah, I mean, he should be doing pretty well. However, you know, the Panther is there and the Panther is quite good at fighting an IS-2. Did get a phone mess. Okay, so hopefully no more noise comes from that phone, because if you heard the vlog, you know that I can't actually mute it. Anyways, so AT guns, conscripts, Maxim machine gun, everybody fighting currently in the center square. We have Obersoldatens and Volksgrenadiers currently hold up inside the houses. The IS-2 moving up on the right-hand side, getting a good shot into that house. Far right-hand side, conscripts near the sandbags, fighting against Volksgrenadiers. They're on the wrong side of the... wrong side of the sandbag as it, you know, as the fight goes. But IS-2 is going to be moving up to support. Volksgrenadiers retreat, very clumped up, but now the IS-2 just fucks it up and misses wildly. AT gun is currently defending on the left-hand side, so the Panther is not able to completely push in. We do see Obersoldatens pushing forward with a nice infiltration barrage going into that church. Maxim machine gun popping out. Maxim machine gun popping in. Volksgrenadiers is going to be pushing forward. They do have access to the incendiary grenade as well, which close into the church, going to be doing some damage. RtN Warfare taking some shots there at the IS-2. Should be able to get some good damage in it. Oh, a nasty shot by the IS-2. Clears out, wipes the entire squad, and down goes an Obersoldaten squad for Nogano as the IS-2 starts to make its mark in the field. 84 to 70, so currently in the lead for Talisman as far as army value goes, or pop cap. 214 to 324, still in the lead for Nogano for the victory points, but again, I mean, it's currently 100, which is significant, but it's not looking great right now. AT gun behind, able to get some good shots going on that Panther. Second AT gun should have a shot at it, although it seems to be blocked by this wall. For some reason, it's not able to shoot at the Panther. Right-hand side, conscripts engaging storm pios as they try to lay down some mines to prevent capping. They Ura away as the IS-2 moves up to engage. Takes a shot but misses, you know, but his point was made. The storm pios realize, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't know that you were walking here. I'll get out of your way. And on the left-hand side, we do have the Maxim machine gun trying to flush out those Volksgrens, but with the Lux still on the field, it just quickly gets pushed away. Conscripts currently focusing 5-on-1 as we have the Volksgrenadiers inside the house. However, with the Lux nearby and, you know, waiting to just eat them alive, they kind of have to move out of the way. Volksgrenadiers pushing forward. Again, they do have access to those infiltration grenades, which are very, very cheap. Only 15 munitions for a very nice damaging barrage. Ooh, you can see right there. Maxim machine gun taking quite a beating there. Still 4-man strong, but it just hurts a lot. However, the IS-2 seems to be wanting to take revenge upon them, and we'll take a shot. Ooh, nasty hit there on the Volksgren squad. Down to 1 man, but it barely manages to make it out of there. RtN Warfare taking some point-blank shots there on the IS-2. We do see the coordinated fire going off from the Panther once again. IS-2 may actually be falling here, although it does manage to clear out the RtN Warfare AT guns. IS-2, everything currently opening up on that Panther, and down goes the Panther for Talisman. Barely keeps alive his IS-2, and that is a brilliant, well, not brilliant, but a good move, basically. I mean, I'm sure different factors could have easily gone in the other direction, but managing to come out on top, and Talisman is in a very, very good position. 84 to 61, the pop cap. AT gun, though, getting cleared out here by the Lux. The Lux manages to inflict a lot of damage, and now with the Volksgrenadiers getting on top of them, the AT gun is down to 2 men. However, with the troops over here distracting a little bit, manages to make it out of there. We do have another Panther on the field for Nogano. This time it's a regular Panther. Probably was hoping to have both of his Panthers online at the same time to maybe, perhaps, coordinate against the IS-2, but the IS-2 now at about 75% strength, still getting repaired by the combat engineers, should be coming online and back at full strength very, very quickly. AT guns forced to back off a little bit to get reinforced, also getting healed up apparently, so giving them a little bit of a break, a little R&R there. Conscripts on the left-hand side, engaging against Volksgrenz by the munitions point. Victory point still currently in the favor for Mr. Nogano, so while he is taking some losses, he's still in the lead there. 184 to 311. Conscripts in the center, going to be getting shot there by the Panther, but since it's a Panther, they don't actually have to worry about the shots. Just the MG on the coaxial gun and then the gunner on top are really the threat there. Rakuten Warfare getting recruited there by Mr. Nogano, getting a good shot there on the side of that IS-2. It's going to need to repair it quickly if it wants to be back in working order and capable of fighting. Far right-hand side, Obersoldaten going for the cap of that point. Nobody there to stop them, while the conscripts are trying to capture the center point. Stormpire is going to be putting themselves in the center to try to delay the capping a little bit, which will provide Talisman with a little bit of, Talisman, Nogano, with a little bit of an extra bump there in point ticks. But, you know, doesn't really matter too much, maybe one tick at most. But trying to do as best they can, because also, unless, I mean, like I said, I haven't really been following the tournament for the ESL, but unless I'm mistaken, usually in tournament formats, when you're doing best of any, the points do come into play, right? But we'll see. So Maxim Machine Gun moving over to the right-hand side, putting itself right in front of the Obersoldaten squad. Quickly forced to retreat as they quickly realized, oh, we kind of fucked that up. We're not in a good spot. We still have that mortar on the field there for Mr. Talisman. Veteran to acquired. Only 4 kills, but it has been doing a lot of damage. So IS-2 moves over to the left-hand side, clearing out the Volksgrenadiers inside the house. Panther moving up, taking a good shot there on the IS-2 through the front. The Lux still around, 29 kills so far, and about to get Veterancy 3, which is very good for it. And the center point did get capped by Talisman, so again, the points are only bleeding once per tick, but it's still, you know, it could still actually end up being Talisman's demise. He hasn't been able to really keep hold of them. Excuse me. So conscripts, 2 at a time on the right-hand side, managing to clear out the Obersoldaten. They do need to push and go cap, but they're not currently doing so, as we see Talisman otherwise engaged in the center. Shots flying from the Rakuten Warfare to Volksgrenadiers. Shreks managing to keep inflicting damage on that IS-2, forcing it to back off, forcing it to get repaired, and just basically keeping these combat engineers tied down because, well, they can't really just push forward. They need to keep repairing that tank. Assault grenades or infiltration grenades getting popped into the church. The church has taken quite a beating now during the game. It is down to about 25% strength, so it won't be able to be utilized as a defensible position for Talisman, you know, forever. Pop cap 84 to 58. Nogano's still on the losing end of that and needing some time to recover, it seems, but still doing quite well with what he has, able to hold territory. Victory points finally getting switched in the other way for Talisman as he caps the point on the left-hand side. We do have a conscript hold up inside the house, which the Lux can help in clearing out. However, we do have AT guns nearby to defend, so, you know, it can't actually easily push. It needs a little bit more help. Second Maxim machine gun currently hold up by those sandbags, which are still there. They haven't actually been crushed by anybody, which is a little bit surprising. And conscripts on the left-hand side, I mean right-hand side, wow. I meant your left. And they capture the point, so Talisman managing to finally inflict himself a triple cap going against Nogano, but we do see Nogano pushing heavily on the left-hand side. Oh, a nasty artillery barrage, nailing that Stormpile squad down to 1 man, quickly forces to retreat. Infiltration grenades going to be flying there at the conscripts. The conscripts pop out of the house, and they're going to be putting themselves not back in the house, it looks like, as we do have the IS-2 moving in that direction to try to provide some additional support. The Lux, the Panther, and even the Rakuten Warfare be moved over to the left-hand side. Conscripts managing to put themselves right on top of the point, denying the Volksgrenadiers the ability to cap, and allowing the, you know, Talisman to keep his point. Rakuten Warfare did throw a shot, but does not manage to do too much about it. Conscripts moving up behind to try and catch it. Manages to cloak, but then ends up hitting retreat to try and get out of the way because it was in danger of getting decloaked there if the conscripts got too close, and could have actually ended up being decrewed and maybe stolen, which would not be a good thing for Talisman. So Talisman currently floating a lot of resources in the manpower and the fuel front, but I mean, he doesn't really need to. He has pretty much everything he needs as far as troops go. And that means that in the event of his IS-2 maybe falling, he can instantly just requisition another one. Should see about doing something with that manpower maybe, like for example that, exactly, there you go. He's building himself some caches to increase his resource count. Those will be destroyed probably relatively easily, but you know, while they're up, that will be providing him some additional munitions. So he's actually done that in multiple of those, because he doesn't need the fuel. Really only needs the fuel for the IS-2, which he has. And he has more than enough for a second one, so yeah, very good, very good. So making sure that he keeps spending as much as he can from that. So conscripts on the left-hand side trying to capture some territory, going a little bit further forward. IS-2 being brought up to support the engagement. Getting shots going there on the storm piles, forcing them to retreat. Conscripts down to 3 men, also forced to retreat, and the Lux unable to do too much against the conscripts, as it is in range, or was putting itself in range of the IS-2 and the AT gun. So Volksgrenadier is going to be pushing over to the left-hand side. Unfortunately, though, for Talisman, he did leave the flank open. Combat engineers on the right-hand side also unable to do anything about that victory point. So, yeah, like I said, might be Talisman's his fall, as he is continuously unable to hold those victory points. Does have maximum machine guns and such, but he's currently utilizing those to defend the center, which he feels has, you know, it is the more important location to defend, and that is, you know, arguably correct. Depends, I suppose, in the situation, but, you know, you are in a far better position if you're holding the center of the map. Volksgrenadiers do get forced away, finally, but not before they capture the point. We do see conscripts and a lot of troops moving forward. We finally see a T-70 coming online for Talisman as he decides to spend his resources, spending a little bit of fuel, spending a little bit of manpower, and giving himself a little bit of an extra push. Oh, nasty shot goes in there, clearing out whatever was in the house, and it looks like that may have been an Obersoldaten squad. Obersoldaten goes down, and I mean, these guys, just, they can't believe that they're dead so much that they just like sit there and stand flabbergasted and just magically hovering their weapon in front of them. So T-70 and a lot of conscripts moving over to the right-hand side, so they're going to try and make sure that they can hold the position. We see Volksgrenadiers popping into the center. We still have a lot of Maxim machine guns nearby. We also have AT guns, which ends up getting shot there by the Shrek for some reason. And the IS-2 is waiting on the left-hand side for whatever it can do. Nogano has about 260 fuel, 500 manpower. What is he waiting for to do? Is he going to be trying to get himself a King Tiger? You call that from this one, right? Oh, wait. Where is it? No, it's like an ability that you can get. Yeah, sorry, I forgot about it. Yeah. I remember now. You pop it. I can't see that in this mode. Oh, well. So conscripts over on the right-hand side pushing forward. The Panther in front of it is going to be able to rip them to shreds with their MGs. Storm piles also getting in the way with their assault rifles, trying to see if they can focus them down. However, they do have sweep activated, so they're not going to be hitting the mines that were placed there on the road. As we see a Volksgren squad retreating down to 1 man. Can they pick him off? Does not look like it's going to happen. Still, though, Talisman managing to keep a double cap going, which is nice and dandy. And the mortar continues to shoot as we hear it back there, with only 4 kills so far. The T-70 putting itself in harm's way, almost gets itself killed, but manages to duck back. Artillery barrage continues to go into the house on the right-hand side, allowing it to basically collapse it. We do see the command tank getting called again, once again, for Nogano, as he wanted to have that and the other Panther. But again, Panthers, not that great against infantry. Their guns are good, has machine guns, but the main shot doesn't actually do too much, whereas the IS-2, of course, can wipe a squad whenever it wants to. And I mean whenever it wants to, because sometimes it just shoots and doesn't hit for shit, so. So Obersoldaten on the right-hand side, going to be engaged here by the T-70. The T-70 down to very low amounts of health, could actually get itself cleared out. However, there's nothing nearby to shoot at it, so it's actually going to go for the Obersoldaten squad. A very ballsy, very risky maneuver there for Talisman. pays off, manages to kill himself off another squad, and down go the Oversoldat. Then 72 to 91. PopCap currently focused on the vehicles for Nogano, as he has those 2 Panthers and the Lugs, but infantry-wise, he is down to only 2 Volkskrant squads and the RtN. I mean, I guess Storm Pyro 2, but does that count? So the Lux and the RtN on the left-hand side going to be trying to stop any tank defense as they try and go and push for the point. Volksgrenadiers pushing over on the right-hand side, managing to destroy one of the conscript squads, morally, not physically. But now with 3 conscript squads on top of them, the Volksgrenadiers, even with their 5 veterancy, I mean, that's just too many rifles shooting at them. Conscripts getting right on top of them. The Panther, like I said, bless his soul, is trying as hard as he can to kill infantry, but he's just not doing shit. The Lux comes up and says, let me show you how it's done. Rips this conscript squad to shreds, down to 2 men, quickly forces the retreat. And with the other 2 squads managing to force the Volksgrenadiers away, they feel confident that they can retreat as they have secured the victory point on the far right because, well, there's no infantry left, and these tanks, well, they can't cap. Storm Pyro being moved over to the left-hand side to try and cap that victory point, keep that pressure going, but Nogano himself has been on the wrong side of a triple cap for a long time now and is now down to 70 points. Talisman holding 140, currently doubling those points. Feeling rather good, I should assume, and we'll see how that works out. That mine's still there. And a flare getting popped by somebody. Oh, Nogano, as he tosses artillery flares to try and see into the map, essentially. Moves his Panther up, going to be destroying that munitions cache, which, like I said, yeah, it was going to get destroyed eventually, because it's too far out there, but, I mean, for that time, he utilized that manpower, and it gathered him resources, a lot of munitions, which probably has him feeling rather well. So the IS-2 and the T-70 backing off as the point on the left-hand side does get capped. We do have the Lux and the RtN nearby to do such that. The Storm Pyros were forced to retreat. Far right-hand side, Volksgrenadier squad does go for the point. As we see conscripts pushing forward, trying to stop them from decapping. Are they going to be able to do so? Yes, they managed to get themselves right on top. Infiltration grenades getting tossed, trying to anticipate the movement of the conscripts, but the conscripts managing to just basically do whatever the hell they want. Second Volksgrenadier squad moving up to try and provide some additional support. Managing to do so, really, as the 2nd conscript squad is forced to spread out. Volksgrenadiers and conscripts engaging here. They are going to be forced to retreat as the point does get decapped and the sandbag destroyed. Conscripts over on the left are also forced to retreat. Taking some losses, but none of the squads die, and Nogano managing to give himself a little bit more time, down to 44 points. Cutting it very, very close. We see conscripts and such pushing over on the left-hand side. 1 Panther is just managing to get itself stunned there, as the IS-2 is taking some shots added. There is an AT gun behind there to provide some additional support. And in the center, we still have a mass of troops. Hell, even a T-34 is now on the field for Talisman, as he decides to continue to push the boundaries of his tech, deciding to tech up to tier 4, you know, realizing, well, I have a lot of manpower, I have a lot of fuel, may as well tech, because in the off case that I lose stuff, maybe I just need a quick switch of tech, you know, and that might help me if I need it. So Panther, Lux, even RtN for pushing forward very aggressively. The Panther managing to get itself right in front of that AT gun. The AT gun just shooting gleefully at the Panther. Panther down to very low amounts of health with a damaged engine. Storm Pyros trying to go for the point, not managing to do too much. The Panther now moving up, trying to get behind the IS-2 to potentially clear it out, as it also prioritizes, or what's it called? The coordinated fire goes off on it. However, with a T-34, an AT gun, and the IS-2, they're able to quickly focus down the Panther. The Panther goes down, the Lux sits in front of the AT gun, trying to clear it out, but to no avail. And with that, I don't think the points were going to tick. I'm pretty sure, yeah. Nogano throws in the good game, well played, returned by Talisman, and the game comes to a close. Very well played by both. An amazing game, and goes to show just the quality of the games that are currently going on the ESL. And props to Stormless and AE for for taking up the mantle there for the CoH2 community and casting these games. I'm sure they're having a lot of fun because all these games just seem to be amazing. So anyways, guys, I do hope you enjoyed the game. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you have any replays you want to send me, go ahead and send them to the email that I will put in the description. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.